right, hello everyone.
Hello.
Greetings, venerables, reverends, our spiritual friends. Today I'm going to be doing a presentation and delivering a Pañcopacāra Pūjā for Sri Ganesh. Pañcopacāra is made of two words. Pancha, meaning five. Upacāra is an offering or a service or kind of a courtesy. And a puja is in honor, homage, adoration, reverence, or worship. So it's a five-item offering ritual. And today we're going to be doing it for Sri Ganesh. I thought it would be helpful if I talked a little bit about Ganesh before we do the puja, so we know who it is that we're worshiping. Ganesh is a Hindu deity. There is first mention of Ganapati in the Rig Veda, but it did not have any description of Ganesh as we know him today. So people don't think it's actually related to Ganesh, but we first hear the name Ganapati in the Rig Veda, one of the oldest ritual texts that we have today. There were some terracotta and other things found with pictures of Ganesh in the first and second century, and then by the 4th and 5th century we start to find more specific references to Ganesh in some different sects. In the Shiva worshippers did incorporate Ganesh. There's a thesaurus from around that time that synonyms for the word Ganesh include one with a face like an elephant, one with a broken tusk. All of the synonyms for the word Ganesh are all descriptive attributes of Ganesh as we know him today. By the 6th and 7th century, there was a full-on Brahmanical sect devoted to Ganesh. Brahman is the supreme without form, the formless divinity of the universe. And so Saguna Brahman is Brahman with form. So Brahman with form, we think of our creator gods. And so today in India, within the blanket of Hinduism, we have the three main sects that either worship Shiva or some incarnation of Shiva, Devi, the goddess in different forms, and Vishnu in different forms. So those are the three that exist today. But in the past, there were two more. There was also a group that worshipped Surya, the sun, and a group that worshipped Sri Ganesh. So there were five, and then now Surya and Ganesh kind of got absorbed into the other ones. One of the more popular backstories of how did Ganesh come to be, I'll just say real quickly. So the story of Ganesh, he is the son of Shiva and Parvati. So Shiva is the Adi Yogi, the Adi Guru, the first yogi, the first teacher, and he's known for meditating for a very long time. So he would very often leave his abode, leave his wife to go meditate in the mountains, the forests, for a long time. And I don't mean like 2 hours, like weeks, months, years. Really, really long time. So his wife started to kind of get lonely. She wanted somebody to play with, so she prayed to the gods for a son, and the gods delivered her Sri Ganesh. But Shiva was away, meditating the whole time, so he didn't know that this happened. And he finally, one day, she's going to take a bath, and she says, Ganesh, will you please guard the door for me? Don't let anybody in. I'm going to be in there washing up. Shiva comes back at that time, doesn't know who this person is guarding the door, and what do you mean I can't come into my own home? He gets very angry. They start to tussle. He stamps his trident. He carries a long 3-pronged trident. He stomps his trident, loud boom, and Ganesh's head falls to the floor. Parvati comes out to see what happened, sees this mess, lets out a terrible scream, and Shiva starts to realize what just happened. She makes all these threats of all these terrible things that are going to happen if they don't remedy the situation. And you don't want to see the fierce face of Devi. quite wrathful. And so all the gods hear her screaming. They come and they say, we're gonna help you out. So they head out to the forest and they find a wise old enlightened elephant who happily bows down and offers his head to the gods. And they take his head, they bring it back, and they put it on Ganesh, and he comes back to life. And so that's how the story of the elephant-headed Ganesh came to be. Now, there are a lot of different stories. That's one of the more popular ones. and kind of one of the reasons we might consider him for being the guardian. He's known to be the remover of obstacles or the guardian. So one of the qualities of Ganesh, he's very wise. We know elephants are extremely wise. He's grounded and earthy. He's the remover of obstacles. If you, as a human, had to get from one side of the forest to the other, or the jungle, you would have to go through many dangerous plants and snakes and things. But an elephant just walks right through, right? No problem getting through the forest. So if you consider the obstacles as your mental obstacles, your life obstacles, your spiritual obstacles, Ganesh is said to help overcome those obstacles. Gana, his name Ganesh, Gana, and Ishwar is God, or his other name is Ganapati. Pati is Lord of, so he's the Lord of or God of the Ganas, which are the troops or groups or collections. And so some say that can be even down to the elements. So they say maybe Ganesh is in charge of the elements. So that's where the name Ganesha comes from. He's the Lord of the troops, and that can be down to a very elemental level. He's grounded and earthy. That's his element. So even if you're looking at the chakra system, he is considered the ruler of the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra at the perineum that connects you to that earth energy. So you pray to him so you can unlock that energy and move it upward. And as he's come to be worshipped, we worship him before other deities. So especially Shiva and Parvati, because he's their son, and you would worship him, and his brother Kartikeya, and then Parvati, and then Shiva. But also when you're worshiping other deities, you would worship Ganesh first, and he can also be worshipped on his own. So I don't want to go over all of the attributes, but as we can see, each of his attributes is a symbolic representation of something else. So we're not worshiping an elephant per se, we're worshiping all of his qualities, because all of these qualities of Ganesh and any deity really, they're our latent potentialities. These are all qualities that we can aspire towards. And so by engaging with Ganesh and his different attributes, we can learn about ourselves. The obvious example is he has big ears and a small mouth, so you talk less, listen more. Those are some basic things. Or his broken tusk can be a symbol of spiritual discernment. Take what you need, get rid of what you don't. And there are some other ones, but that's just to say that this image here has a lot to teach us. It's more than praying to a being. And as we started to hear a little bit earlier, Ganesh has moved into other traditions and moved around the world, and so this is he exists in Japan, and he exists in Tibetan Buddhism quite a bit. And then I just got some other images to share because they're beautiful and fun to look at as we see them. I think most of these are from Tibetan tradition. Some really beautiful paintings. You see the different Buddhas, Tara. Really lovely.
So it became a deity in Tibetan Buddhism?
Yes. And then in Japan they have also Vajrayana Buddhism. Not just the Zen, but there's Vajrayana Buddhism, and so he's a part of that as well. But this is the form that we are going to be worshiping today, Sri Ganesha Ji. Sri is an honorific title given to the highest, and Ji is also an honorific title that you could share with somebody of your equal or somebody that you respect a little bit. So we're going to give them both Sri Ganesha Ji, and this is the form that we are going to be worshiping today. So now on to the puja. This is very bright. When to do puja and who does it? So puja, it can be done by any devotee. So in Buddhism, you're either a monastic or a lay practitioner. But in Hinduism, my understanding, you're either have a formal title like a pandit or a pujari, or you're a devotee. So the lay practitioners are devotees. Before I go any further, let me just say that the tradition varies widely, and I'm going to explain what I have learned, but you may come across or have learned of some variations in some of the things that I'm going to talk about today. And it's a very rich tradition and a lot of variations, so take everything with a grain of salt. But daily devotion can be done by somebody in their home, or you can go to a temple daily. So you can do a small puja or a large puja. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Each day of the week in Hinduism is attributed to a different deity. So for this example, I said Budvar Vrat. So Vrat is a fast. So Budvar is Wednesday. Ganesha is the lord of intellect, Buddhi. So Budvar is the day of Ganesha. And so if you were going to pay homage to him, you might do it on Wednesday. If Hanuman was your Ishvara, you might on Tuesday do a Hanuman puja, or on Saturday. Ganesha Chaturthi is his birthday, so you would do a Ganesha puja on Ganesha's birthday. Similarly, for Krishna's birthday, you might do a Krishna puja. For the different birthdays or specific holidays, Guru Purnima, where you celebrate the gurus, you might do a puja for the gurus on that day. So there are some specific holidays for specific individual deities or revered figures that you might do a puja. And then also special occasions like a birthday or a graduation or personal things. Kind of any special occasion might want to celebrate it. If you're going to travel, a lot of times people will go have a puja, wishing them well before they head off. A lot of times in the airport, you'll see people who have just come from puja. And then we have auspicious and celestial events. So different holidays that correlate with phases of the moon or different celestial events that happen. There are many, many holidays in the Hindu tradition, and so you have a lot of opportunities for various pujas. Who conducts the puja, or who does the puja at all? So as I said, the devotees can do so in their own home. Usually it's the head of the household, but it can also be the one who's most enthusiastic about it, who has the most faith or the most interest. So they might lead the puja, and the other people would sit there, maybe participate. Sometimes you will pass out some of the items, and everybody will hold on to it while the main person is praying, and then everybody will put it in the plate at the same time. So the one person will lead it, and the other people can watch and participate as they wish. A pujari is somebody who does the puja. This can be a person who is a priest, but a pandit is a priest, but a pujari can just be maybe sometimes somebody who just does that. I've heard of some temples that kind of fell to the wayside, got abandoned, nobody's really tending to them. So somebody kind of shows up, cleans it up, they know a little bit about this, and so they start doing it. And so they kind of become the de facto pujari of that village or area. So you can kind of stumble into it, or it can be a very devout scholarly position where you study all the mantras almost as much as a full priest would. And it could be a very dedicated position as well. So a pujari has a wide range of who can do it and what their aptitudes will be. And as we said, the pandit is, that's the word for priest in Hinduism. So the temple priest is the pandit, and he will perform the pujas. Also, sometimes in some of the bigger temples, there's an entire position dedicated to preparing the offerings, because as you can see, there's quite a bit that goes into it. When we actually do the puja, I'll explain it, so it'll take a little bit longer, but really it only takes like 5 minutes to offer 5 items. So, but the preparation can take a very long time. This took a little while. Longer to set up than it'll do to offer it. And then also you have sannyasis, sadhus, and swamis. Sannyas when you renounce the world and you head out walking to the different holy sites. A sadhu is also like a homeless mendicant, and a swami is more of a formal monastic position within Hinduism. You have different swami orders, mainly coming from the 10 that were started way back by Shankara. Adi Shankara started 10 main big orders and kind of unified the monasticism within Hinduism, whereas before that Buddhism was the main functioning monastic order. So all these people can do puja. I fall in the range of devotee. So here I am today. And I spent a good amount of time with the temple priest to learn some of these things. So here is what a puja at home could look like. It can be with the family, or people will often invite the temple priest to their home to do the puja. So this is actually Panditji Jagadish, who helped me today. He's come to our campus. Some of us have met him before. This is a stock internet photo, both of which are priests setting up in a person's home. So they will bring all those items and set up all of those things. And again, that can be for different reasons. This could be a celebration. It can be honoring those who have passed. There could be a lot of different reasons to do that, but that's what it might look like in the home. Here are some examples of outfits and how people look and dress, the pujaris and pundits. So again, this is actually in Kenlock Hall when we set up the event last year. So that's again our local pundit here. These gentlemen are from down in Laguna. There's a Kali Mandir down there. So these gentlemen are from there. As you can see, many of them are not wearing shirts. The traditional Brahmin priest will wear a thread. Brahmins wear a thread, and I understand some of the other castes also do, but typically we see the Brahmins wearing the thread to indicate their caste, and then it's kind of my color combination, and then you see quite a bit of variance. So there's not a set standard to what one has to wear. Sometimes, their lungi is just it's a piece of fabric wrapped around, or it can be more formal and really look really nice and with a lot of glitter and gloss and trim. It can be a wide variation.
So they wear skirts or pants?
Either. So this is a lungi, is what it's called, or a mundu, or a dhoti. I guess dhoti is the proper word here. Thoti, dhoti. So traditionally, it's just a piece of cloth, and then you fold it a certain way. This one is pre-stitched, for those who don't know how to fold it. So it's stitched in the middle in such a way that it kind of tapers off. I'm wearing shorts underneath, but it kind of ends up going up the leg. So you fold it in a little bit of an intricate way to wear it like I asked my priest how he does. He says he doesn't fold or clip or snip, he just kind of wears it open. So he just wears it looks like a skirt. Exactly. And also, this is the Anga Vastram. Vastram is cloth. Anga is limb, so it's the cloth that drapes over your limb. This can have a bit of variation as well. They can be kind of like a small scarf-looking thing, or enormous and elaborate and beautiful. Quite a bit of variation. This is actually a cloth that I got from South India, so you could wear it as a skirt, but I chose to wear it over my shoulder today.
So Buddhism is one of the Sanyasin orders, right? Yeah. So that's why the orange is the same orange that becomes their robes. Because it is the mark in India from long ago that these are people who have left home, have gone forth. The wording is gone forth.
To the Samaneras in the forest, right?
Yeah,
where we get the Buddhist
I think the actual meaning is to go forth, right? I think it's still used in their own languages, Thai, Sri Lankan, to talk about
how
people
do they dye
who
their
go
clothes
forth.
at that time with the orange? How do they dye their clothes to become very, very orange like that?
Well, probably more orange like yours than his, I would imagine. More natural colors. My understanding is the dyes come from natural elements that they're able to find, which is how I was explained that there was variation in colors. It was based on the resources you had to make the dyes. That's my understanding of it. So there's a bit of variation here, but do you see something in common in all of these people? What do you see in common?
Whole style of dressing.
No takers? They're all men.
They're all smiling. I was going to say they're all smiling.
They're all men.
They're all men.
It's not required that men be the pundits, priests, but over time that's kind of what happens. So I'd like to take a moment to talk about that. Female pujaris and pundits. So on the top left, in 2010, that was the first and only at the time female Hindu priest. In Pune in South India, they've started training women to do it. So these two women are from South India. In Pune, or I guess all three of these women are from Pune, where they've been training to be Hindu priests or priestesses. Yes?
How do you become pandit?
You have to learn the mantras and the procedures, and it's a lot of training in the scriptures. I don't know all of the intricacies of it, but I understand you need to know the scriptures and you need to know the processes, the different.
What I mean is, if some Swami allow them to be trained and then they become pandit automatically, only that.
Yeah, you must go for training.
Just for training.
Yeah, must go for training. But
Okay.
There's some pandit that they cannot even start the training. Women cannot even start the training. So they must be allowed.
Okay.
So sorry to interrupt.
No, please. But what we find, so there's a lot of information from one article. I don't want to read it all, but I wanted to have it up there. This is a woman from Chicago area, and she serves the Hindu community in Chicago and like Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and that kind of area. And she points out many of the early Hindu texts speak of women priests. In the Vedas, they talk about women being priests, but over time, some things changed, and it's not that women weren't allowed to do it, it just got lost, and it became kind of a man's profession. But who gave birth to you? The mother is the true priest, right? She's the first teacher of a child. And what we also learned from this article is that there's a growing need for Hindu priests in America, because many people who come here, many of the men who come here want more secular and lucrative jobs. It's not that lucrative to be a priest. It's not that prestigious. They want prestige and money. And so just to get to America from India, you have to show that you have some money. So the people who are coming here from India are educated and they have some status already. So even if it's in their family to be priests, they're less inclined to do it. They want something else. So there's a growing need, as we see. I don't know if I put the figure up. I don't think I put the figure up here, but in like 10 years that they counted the Hindu population, it jumped huge numbers. So we've got an increasing Hindu population here and a decreasing priest population. So all the more reason we should have women doing it if they want to, right? So I thought I would just take a moment to touch on this because I think it is important. Some of my favorite spiritual teachers are women, and I think it's a tragedy to not have that voice. Back to Sri Ganeshaji. On to the puja. So we got a little bit of a backstory, a little bit of who does it, when and why. What this says is the puja, it's more than just a religious service. So in Trinidad, the British brought Indians to Trinidad to work, but their marriages were not recognized, so the inheritance rights were not honored. They did not allow crematoriums. So puja ended up being an opportunity for them to congregate and discuss what they were going to do to defend themselves. So I think we see that a lot. I know I've been to a lot of different services at different churches, and sometimes they talk more about what the community aspect, what are we doing together outside of the church, than the actual divinity aspect. So puja can be more than just a devotional thing. It's an opportunity for the Hindu diaspora to congregate, which is really important. Community. So there are many different kinds of pujas. One of the ways to classify them is by the number of items you use. Today we're doing a 5-item offering, Pañcopacāra puja. But what has been emphasized to me by my priest, and I've heard this echoed, is that even if you don't have any fruit or candles or any items, you can still do puja if you have devotion in your heart. You have a little bit of time and a little bit of devotion, and you can do it. So you have Mansapachar puja. Manas is the mind. We know that in Buddhism we use that word as well. So you can do a mental puja. You can do the Pañcopacāra puja that we're going to do today, the 5 items. The common one for the holidays, like it's kind of like a little bit more in depth, but medium, is the Shodashopachara puja, 16 items. You would do all of these and a few more. I'm going to do a couple of extra things in here that are not going to be part of the 5-item offering, that would be part of the 16. Now for Vishnu, Krishna, Narayan, the different forms of Vishnu, we often do the 30-item puja. So it's a little bit more involved. But not nearly as involved as the 64-item or the Raja puja, which Raja is king or royal puja, and that one's reserved for the guys. Happy to see that. So that is one of the ways of classifying your puja. It can be based on the number of items that you're going to be doing. 5 we see as a reoccurring theme. Although we're offering 5 items here, I also have 5 different pieces of fruit, 5 different kinds of fruit and nuts in the mix there. I think I have 4 here, but we might do 5 flowers. So 5 is a reoccurring number. There's 5 little spaces here on this lamp. We know we have the 5 precepts and the 5 pillars of Islam. We see 5 as a popular item in many different traditions, especially in Hinduism. Puja is a multi-sensory experience, like a lot of ritual. One observes the offering of the lighted lamps, touches the ritual objects, and when appropriate, the feet of the deity. They hear the ringing bells and the sacred chants, and they smell the incense, and they taste the food, the prasad, that will be handed out after the service. So it's a multi-sensory experience meant to engage all the parts of your understanding. So before one conducts the puja, it's typical that they do not eat any meat that day or eggs. If you're doing it at home, that's not that hard if you're doing it first thing in the morning. But if you know you're going to be going to temple later in the day, you might want to choose your diet accordingly. And it's also important that you bathe and dress in clean clothes beforehand. I'll incorporate some cleansing into this process, as we'll get to see, but it's also important that you bathe and you're clean, in the mouth, especially in the mouth and the hands and the feet. If you're going to go to a service after work, you might go home and take a shower first and then go to service. To prepare, you put it all together. So you want to put all your items on the plate nicely. Just get everything you need, because you don't want to have to get up once you get started. You place the cloth sheet down. We chose red today because Ganesh likes red, so we have quite a few red items. We're going to use the red kumkum, got some red flowers, and I went with the red cloth for underneath. Some of the items, this is not a complete list, but this is some of the items. The murti is the statue that has already, so this has come pre-dedicated. We've already invited the prana, the energy, to come embody this murti. You have the sheet. The thali is the plate. If you go to an Indian meal, you order a thali, and it's got it'll come with a plate with a little bit of everything on it. But in this case, it's the puja thali. The Pañcopacāra, again, pancha is the 5 items. So the Pañcopacāra is these items here. So you would have 2 spoons, 2 different, they're not cups, but receptacles. I forget the Sanskrit word for that, for the water. I'm probably going to only need 1, but you have an extra one in case you need it, in case one spills. And then you have the plate. I'm going to wash my hands, it'll spill into there, or we can put some items you want to get rid of in there. The durva grass. Durva is a kind of grass. We want 1 piece of grass that has 3 prongs on it. 3 is another auspicious number, so each of these pieces of grass that I have today has 3 prongs on it. Tulsi is a very sacred plant, holy basil in India, so we use that in the puja. Not necessarily for offering, sometimes for offering, but having it is auspicious. Sometimes you top your fruit or your food with it. Having it is important, and you want to have each item in a bowl. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our pancha items now, our 5 items that we're going to offer. The gandham is for our fragrance. So I have sandalwood here, and the kumkum, the haldi, that's what will be used for marking the bindi on ourselves and the deity. And these are supposed to be fragrant. The sandalwood, I think we'll see in the sandalwood slide, there's you have the stick of sandalwood, and then you have the grinding plate, and you would grind it. So oftentimes in the temple, I've seen the priest call over one of the boys, hey, grind up some of the sandalwood for me, and he'll grind it and pass it to the priest, and the priest will anoint the murti with it. And that fresh ground sandalwood smells really good. The akshat is the unbroken rice. So after we put the kumkum on, we will put rice on the deity's forehead. And the unbroken aspect of it represents wholeness, fullness, abundance. So it's important that it's unbroken. The pushpam is the flowers. The dupam is the incense, the dup, and the deepam is the lamp or the light. In a 5-item puja, we would pick 1. So we'll talk more about that later. But because it's a 5-item puja, you would probably just want to pick 1 of those. The bigger puja, you would do both. The naivedyam is the food offered to the gods, and you always want to offer it complete. So you would never want to taste a portion or use a portion of any of the items you're offering. You know, if we bought this incense to use today for Ganesha, I'm not going to light one in the car on the way over here. It's a big no-no. Afterwards, it's all blessed, and you can take it and use it as you will. Ganesha likes sweets, so we have ladus. These are typically made of chickpea flour and ghee and sugar. I have the box if anybody wants to, or I think it might be a bakery box. It might not have the ingredients actually. And then for the fruit and nuts, I said we got a mixture in there. So we've got some different kinds of raisins and different kinds of nuts in there. We want a good mix, preferably 5 items. So fruit and nuts, dried, and sweets for Ganesh. I also have on here a string. So you see he's wearing the cloth around his neck. He came pre-dressed for us because he was bathed, and then we put a cloth on him. So sometimes that will be part of the puja, because we're only doing 5 items today. That came done already. And so that string after the puja could be offered to the devotees as well. All right, on to the puja. Yes?
Whose murti is there?
This is Panditji's.
Oh, it's Panditji.
Yes. The one I had has a small chip in it, and that's inappropriate too. So I did not want to bring that. So he generously offered for this one. But I'm going to get another one soon, so I can continue to offer the service.
No, I just was wondering, there's some kind of energy on it.
Ah.
So I thought,
So this is where it came from. This is the temple in Pasadena. So normally the Ganesh is sitting right here. So it has all of this energy in the room with us today. So yesterday I took this photo when I went to collect some of these items and meet with the Pandit. So now we can get to the fun part. The puja itself would go fast. I'm going to slow it down and talk about each thing as I do it. So I hope that'll be okay.
Do you have enough flour or no?
I have some flowers. I think it'll be sufficient for our purposes
No,
here.
you can go and pick for us.
I was walking around today, keeping my eyes open for that, but I decided to just let it be. All right, so real quick, just the overview of what the procedure is. We talked about the preparation. Hasta praksham. Hasta is your hands, so we do a hand wash. We do a throat wash. I'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to recite our sankalp. Sankalp is your intention, so we will recite our intention. We'll say what day it is and whatnot. I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. And then we'll do our opening invocation and prayers, where we'll invite Surya and Deepam, the sun, and the lamp as our witness. And we'll pay our respect to Hanuman in the north, the fierce version of Shiva, Bhairava in the south, and then praise the gurus and praise Ganesh before we actually get to the Pañcopacāra Puja, the 5-item offering. We'll close it up with some prayers, and then we'll do the blessing at the end, which may consist of the Agni. Sometimes people will want to wave the fire over their head or apply it to their face. Sometimes this will be passed around on the plate, and people will donate a dollar or some symbolic amount. The tilak is the kumkum on the forehead. The vastram is the cloth, so you may give out strings, and the prasad is the blessed food. So after the ritual, the pandit would sit there in front of the items and disperse these items, all the while chanting mantras or offering blessings. We'll talk about that more in a moment.
So it shares with the Sankalpa, share the intention to do the puja. We share with all Buddhist traditions. All Buddhist traditions, somehow we talk about the motivation, and also we recite in some traditions, like the Chinese tradition, we recite the address. We are doing this puja in roast meat today to remind the Buddha. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the Sankalpa in a moment after this one. Thank you for telling me that they do that in Buddhism as well. I did not know that. But so for the Sankalpa, I had the priest help me to compose it, because it has all the factors of where we are, the moon cycle. We'll talk about that in a moment. So the Achamanam is a hand cleansing, and you drink 3 times. So Kesavaya, Madhvaya, and Narayana are all forms of Vishnu. And so Vishnu is the preserver in Hinduism. So it's worthwhile to appreciate the preserver, because it preserves our life. The first Vishnu was the fish, Matsya, who saved primitive man from the deluge. And so we see when Dharma is restored, righteousness is restored, wellness is restored. That's the qualities of a Vishnu. That's why in Hinduism they say Buddha is a Vishnu, Christ is a Vishnu, because they restored the Dharma. It doesn't mean that they're Hindu gods. It means that they embody these qualities, these preserving qualities of righteousness and Dharma. So we honor Vishnu. And sometimes the copper will itself give nutrients to the water, but sometimes you'll put leaves inside and let it sit. And then this is said to cleanse ailments if somebody were to practice this. So we'll do our cleansing. Om hastam prakshalya achamanayam. And I'll take a spoon of this water and put it in my. Oh, I'm going to do the hand washing first. Excuse me. So we got the achamanyam. I'll just put some of this on my hand. Just rub my hands and let that go into the bowl.
Can you all see?
If you want to come closer, you can. Then Om Kesavaya Namaha Swaha. Om Madhvaya Namaha Swaha. And normally I'd be sitting down doing all this. Om Narayana Namaha Swaha. Om Hastam Prakshalya. And now we're clean. So the throat part is also a cleansing of the throat. So I'm cleansing my hand, I'm cleansing my throat. Now I can speak these things appropriately because I'm clean.
And that water was also blessed by your priest? Or
Nope, the water came from the fountain in there. Yeah, he told me that it was fine to just use the water for that. There wasn't a procedure for blessing it, and I think having it in these cups, they're part of the ritual implements. Like I said, the copper is supposed to infuse with the water, but there was no instruction given in terms of actually blessing the water. So our Sankalpa, it's a resolution of free will and determination. We're setting our intention, saying what we're going to do. So again, we're praising Vishnu. So you say, Om Vishnu 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 Atre Maga Mangalye Masanam Utamahe Masa Sube Krishna Pakshe Ashtamyam Tito Brihaspati Vasare Ganesh Pancharam Pujana Aham Karishe. Our intention has been set. Some of the elements that go into that, I wanted to just mention. So you invoke Vishnu. There's a time element, the Hindu time in regards to Brahma. There's a geographical element, like your own house, or if you're in a temple. There's the current day element. So we have Brihaspati on there. Brihaspati is Thursday. That's today. What else we got? There's a purpose element. So based on your intention, what are you trying to achieve here? That may be a part of it. How is it being performed? By the self or with the priest? Pujana aham. I think that means me. Reference to the specific deity and reference to the name and mode of the ritual. So we got Pañcopacāra Pūjā. Next we invite our witnesses of Surya and Deepam. So Surya is the sun. We invite the sun as a witness to witness over our puja today. And we invite a second witness because if the clouds come and block the sun, we still have the lamp to be our witness. And if a wind comes and blows out the lamp, we still have the sun as our witness. So we have two, just in case. And then we'll offer praises to Hanuman and Bhairava in the different directions. And then we'll honor the gurus and Ganesha before our 5-item offering. So now we're getting into it. So you have your Surya invocation to start. Om Surya Namaha Namaskaram Samrapyami. Om Devasta Devata Namaha Namaskaram Samrapyami. And at this point we would light the deepam. Is that okay to light the deepam in here? I brought a battery powered one just in case. So our deepam, our lamp, is made of a cotton wick with ghee all around it, clarified butter. And sometimes they use camphor to help ignite it, so there's some camphor flakes in here to just help it ignite. We said Om Dipasta Devata Namaha Namaskaram Samrapyami. And then after that, we invoke Hanuman and Bhairava. Om Hanumate Namaha Namaskaram Samrapyami. Om Bhairave Namaha Namaskaram Samrapyami. And then next, got our gurus. Guru Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. The Guru is verily the representative of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. He creates, sustains knowledge, and destroys the weeds of ignorance. I salute such a Guru. And then we have, so I was told, told me just do the one mantra, but when it comes to the puja, if you want to add extra mantras, it's more than welcome. So I also wanted to share the Dhyana Mula mantra with you because I really enjoy it and I know all the words in Sanskrit, so it's also been a wonderful tool to learn Sanskrit. So this one goes, Dhyana Mulam Gurur Murti Puja Mulam Gurur Padam Mantra Mulam Gurur Vakyam Moksha Mulam Gurur Kripa. So Mulam is the root. We said the Mula Bandha is the root chakra. So we know Dhyan is meditation, right? Dhyan, Zen, Chan. So the root of meditation is the form of the Guru, Gurur Murti. The root of puja is the Guru's feet, Pada. The root of mantra is the Guru's word. And the root of liberation is the Guru's grace, Kripa. So we've now invoked our Gurus. And then we will praise Ganesh. Om Gan Ganapatiye Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. As we can see, I meditate on Sri Ganesh, who has a curved trunk, large body, and who has the brilliance of a million suns. O Lord, please make all my works free of obstacles, always. And then I added the Durva line here, Om Gan Ganapatiye Namaha Durva Samarapyami, because that's for the grass, the Durva grass. Because we're only doing a 5-item offering, the grass is not going to be part of the offering, so we're doing it preliminarily. So Om Gan Ganapatiye Namaha Durva Samarapyami, and then I will set the grass as the base. And each of these grass has 3 points. It's a little bit wilted. I got it last night. I was very busy today. Samarpan. In Hindi, Samarpan means surrender. So Samarpani is I offer and I surrender this to you. The word surrender, it means to give away, not really to give up, right? You surrender your rights, or you surrender your different things, you give them away. So each time we offer something, at the end of the line, it will say Samarpani. Samarpani. I offer this to you. Very good. Next, we will offer our kumkum, or gandham. And to do that, I will put some of the water into the kumkum bowl, because it's a red powder, as you all saw. It's a red powder, and so you just put a little bit of the water in there, and you have the water to continue adding to it as you need. So we will do that as we recite the mantra. Om Shri Kandanam Chandanam Divyam Kandadyam Sumanoharam Vilepanam Surashreshta Chandana Pratigrihyatam Om Gan Ganapatiye Namaha Kandam Samarapyami. So I beseech the all-powerful and master of the riches, Goddess Lakshmi, to come here and kindly accept this divinely smelling sandalwood paste. And as that's the stone I talked about earlier, the grinding stone for the sandalwood. You have 2 different kinds of sandalwood, 2 different kinds of kumkum. And I have like the sandalwood paste here too. If we wanted to use that, we could. It's kind of up to you what you want to use. Next, our akshat, our whole rice. So we will add it to the kumkum. Akshatash surashreshta kumkumata sushobhita Maya nivedata bhaktya grihan parameshwara. Om Ganapati Namaha Ganadam Samarapyami. This rice mixed with the best red kumkum, which is diffused completely into the rice, completes your grace. I, the devotee, request you, O Lord, to accept this offering. So sometimes you will mix the rice with turmeric or kumkum, maybe a little bit of ghee so it sticks. You have to be careful because that can break the rice and then you have unbroken rice. But that is also a practice that is done sometimes, and that's why it's part of the mantra. But today we're keeping those items separate. Next we have the pushpam, our flowers. So we'll offer our flowers. Malyadini sugandhini malatyadini ve prabhu maya hitani pujatam pushpani pratigriyatam Om Ganapati Namaha Ganadam Samarapyami. I'm going to go ahead and add this tulsi at this time. Tulsi's a little bit wilted, but it's still wonderful. This garland of flowers gives great fragrance and is a symbol of my devotion. Please accept my offering. So often garlands are used. We see these here. A mala is a garland. So you see a mala is the mala beads, but it's also a mala of flowers. Varna mala is the alphabet. It's an alphabet of, it's a garland of letters. So often the garlands are used, can be draped over the deity as well. Our dupam and our deepam. I think I would like to... Can we do the dupam in here, or should I just do the deepam?
No.
I can do the dupam?
No.
Okay. We're going to do the dupam. So I will light it. So you might wave the flame while ringing the bell. You can also do the incense. So we'll say Akshatash Surashvishta Kumkumata Sushobita Maya Nivedita Bhaktya Grihan Parameshwara Om Ganapati Namaha Ganadam Samarapyami. Isn't it better with the bell? Produced from the Vanaspati Rasa. Vana is the forest, so it's the herbs of the forest, the flavor of the herbs of the forest. Produced from those herbs, which is fragrant with the best of fragrance, which is smelled by all the devas. Accept my offerings, please. So for the deepam, I'm not going to offer it because we already did, but if I wanted to, I would wave this in front of the deity while reciting that mantra. I'm just doing a 5-item offering today, so I'm going to skip this one, but you're welcome to read it. Ajyam cha varti samyuktam vanya yojitam maya deepam grihan devasya trilokyatim irapaham Om Ganapati Namaha Ganadam Samarapyami. And it contains the ingredients. And Guru is the remover of the darkness. The light is the remover of the darkness. And some say that that's the light of truth. And here, this is a big Shri yantra made of candles, and then that's what we're using here today. And then our Naivedyam, our food. So we will offer our food to Ganesha. So I just gave some of the other examples of some other foods that people eat. These ones look savory, and there are fruits. Again, we have 5 different fruits. We've got 5 different kinds of fruits, 5 different kinds of nuts, and then some laddus as well. Sharkara kanda kadyani dati kshir grihatana chai aharam bhaksha bhojam cha nivedyam pratigriyatam Om Ganapati Namaha Karanam Samarapyami. All right. You guys can all see that. I've been looking at that for a moment. Great. And then we have our closing prayers. We've made our offerings. Ganesh has received all of our items, and we can thank him and close it out. So Om Ganapate Namaha Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Gurave Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Pratana Purvaka Namaskaram Samarapyami Shri Gajanan Ganesha Bhagavana Ki Jai! So it's like a call and response, and so when you hear somebody say the key at the end of a line, everybody responds Jai.
What is Jai?
Victory. Yeah, that's like the one. So victorious, like go for it. So you say like Jai Shri Ganesh or Jai Hanuman. Like it's commonly used as a praise, like victory to that being. And then, as I mentioned some of this stuff already, after the puja is complete, with the mantras and the blessings, the pujari will apply tilak to their own forehead. Now that we're all done here. And to any others who would like. Any more water? I'm going to need more water. And you use the ring finger. The ring finger is associated with the sun. So you would say, may you shine brightly like the sun. Something like this. That's the significance of using the ring finger. In reading a little bit more, I found that each finger, as we know from modern medicine and pressure therapy, whatnot, each finger corresponds to a different thing. So theoretically, you could use different fingers if you're trying to achieve different purposes. I'm not that skilled at doing this. Let's see what happens. And then you might apply rice, see if it stays, and it just kind of falls off over time, and you can just hold on to it or put it by a tree. And then, as I said, we offer the agni, the tilak, the rice, and the thread to others, disperse their prasad, and then some other blessings that you might want to say. May you live a long life, Ayushman Bhav, Vijay Bhav, may you be victorious, or unfortunately, usually for the women, they say Sabhagavati Bhava, stay blessed or have a long, happy married life. It's generally given for the women, hence you have the T on the end instead of the you have gendered words in Sanskrit. So, I think that concludes that, and if you would like to receive prasad, I will be happy to pass some out and or answer any questions that you might have. Do you have any additional information to share, Dr. Gabriel?
Instead of using kumkum, can we use turmeric powder?
Some kumkum is made from turmeric powder, but it has other things in there. So I'm not sure how that would work, but it might. I think you have to put some other things in there to make it work. I'm not sure. I've never made it myself. But there is turmeric in some kumkum. Much kumkum, actually.
I think apart of ritual, some kind of pray, you need to invite goddess Lakshmi. So
Lakshmi.
how can she play any role in that?
The mantra is inviting her to smell the fragrance and to come and to share
Who
her
is she?
quality. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth and prosperity. She is the counterpart of Vishnu, so Vishnu's consort or female energy. So in every business you go to in India, there will be a picture of Lakshmi by the checkout counter. So she represents wealth and abundance. And so you invite her to smell the fragrance and to come grace us with her blessing so we can also experience abundance.
So I can say that she is the deity of fragrance.
We hope that the fragrance, that she smells the fragrance and that she comes.
Because I think you, according to my understanding, because you put the Murti over there, Ganesh Murti over there, she's supposed to worship him and then invite her for fragrance.
Yes, I'm offering the fragrant kumkum to him and hoping that in the process she catches wind.
Okay.
Yeah. I did bring some of my own small figurines. These have not been properly initiated to have their energy, but there is a form of the goddess here. I have a small Saraswati. So Brahma is the creator. Saraswati is the counterpart to Brahma, his consort, or as I like to think about, the female aspect of that energy. So he's the creator, but my favorite creation story involves Saraswati. So she's the goddess of learning, so children will recite her mantra before class, but also music. So her form here is with a veena, like a guitar-like instrument. And so as modern science says, everything was still, and then the Big Bang happened. So in Hinduism also, it was still, and she plucked her veena and set the vibration into motion that rippled forth today. So that's my favorite creation story that involves Saraswati. And I also brought Shiva and Hanuman and Buddha as well. This is water from the Ganga that I myself collected. Often a really nice puja will use Ganga water for this instead of any other kind of water. So I brought it along, but I did not put it in there. Also, I don't think my body's adapted to drink it. I did swim in it, and it was wonderful, and I did not get sick. And I went back many times for pilgrimage. I have an Angavastra that says Hara Hara Gange. For me, the Ganga represents so much. It's the bloodline of the country and a lot of the religion and the faith, but every time I went to Rishikesh, I go to this arti where it's the ceremony on the water, and they talk about the environment. So for me, worshiping the river is also a way to respect the environment and to remind me of that interconnection of the spiritual and the physical. The river, I love rivers. Ganga. So Ganga Jal, or water from the Ganges, is highly revered, and you can buy it in shops actually. If you go to the Indian shop for the puja items, they will have it in bottles. You can buy Ganga water for your puja. Any other questions?
So when this is done and you want to take a full bag, how is it any ritual?
I'm going to give it to you as holy food. It's been blessed now. We've done the puja. We offered it to Sri Ganesh. And I brought some napkins. If anybody would like ladus or nuts or fruit, I would very much like for you to take it.
So you just can take it like
No, I'm going to give it to you.
Oh, you can.
Possibly while reciting mantras. So I might say the Vakratunda mantra, or I might say the Mahamrityunjaya mantra to Shiva. That's for long life. So I might be sitting here, Om Trambakam Vajamahe Sugandhi Pushtamani Ramurvarakam Ayushman Bhav. Like this, something like that. Did you have a question?
Yeah, no, it's not a question, it's just only a comment.
Yes.
Do you have time?
Yeah, we have that.
Thank you. When you are performing this specific puja, it reminded me something. It means this quite resembles some kind of puja, some kind of offerings what we practice in Sri Lanka as Buddhists, because whenever we go for a how do we say a dana ceremony, or what we call as giving food to the offering foods to the monks, or any items to the monks, or any such kind of a Buddhist festival. The first portion of the articles, for instance, the foods, we need to offer the first portion of the foods to the Buddha statue, and some other stuff also. I think we got inherited all these things. I don't know from where the source is, whether it is, but it resembles some sort of things in Hindu tradition.
Yeah.
But when we go to the very early text of the Buddha, and Buddha has never ever mentioned. I'm telling you this, how I can say, I'm 100%, I'm 500% quite clear and sure. Buddha has never ever mentioned in his earlier text to say that we need to offer him some kind of food, some kind of those articles to the Buddha statue. But if we follow the final discourse given by the Buddha, the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the final discourse, there in one place Buddha mentions we can offer only the incense and the malas, the flowers, Those are the two only items with other, some kind of blessed items like some powders, just like kumkums. We can offer these three items to the Buddha statue and any place, but we are not supposed to. We cannot offer the other foods because we don't find such kind of readings in the original text. But whenever you were doing this, I remembered and it reminded me in every Buddhist, or we can say a dana ceremony, we do these things in Sri Lanka.
And they also put on a tali.
Yeah.
And they also call it tali.
Yeah. Even in front of the Buddha statue, we offer all these things. What we eat as food. But the difference is in our tradition. Once we offer any kind of food to the Buddha, it's for him. It's already blessed, but we are not supposed to consume it because of the respect we have towards the Buddha.
What do you do with it?
We are not supposed to eat the food.
What do you do after it's
we give it to animals, so sometimes we give it, we throw it away. But we are not supposed to eat. If we eat it, some people believe that something bad will happen to you. There are some people, but there are some Buddhists who do eat the blessed food also today. They don't believe.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's just only a belief.
Yeah. That's so interesting. So similar, but so different.
Yeah. But in Sri Lanka, we have pujas, we have offerings to the Ganapati. We call him the deity of Ganadevi, something just like that. So we have in Sri Lanka in different places, in different temples also, a specific place for this deity, and even the Buddhists get the blessings from this deity. And especially the children, whenever they go for examinations, whenever a person go for something specific like for a new job, job interview, we do get the blessings from the Ganapati. And Ganapati is believed to be the leader of knowledge, and that's why we are supposed as children. I have done it when I was a child, and even though I was a Buddhist, even though I'm a Buddhist, I have to take blessings of from the Ganapati.
Wow.
He broke off his task to write the Mahabharata, so we have to go to him to pass exam.
Children believe that once after you are blessed with the Ganapati, you will definitely pass the exam, but you will have to work.
Interesting. That's great. What a rich tradition. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Wonderful. Thank you.
Share some pictures.
Oh,
So I will show you this. This Ganapati structure. So huge one.
in Sri Lanka.
In Sri Lanka,
Wow.
I ordered these people to create in my land, in my mother, some of our land. It's a huge one.
Oh wow.
So the leg, the posture is
Yes,
different
yes,
from the
yes,
picture there.
Yes.
Huge.
Yeah, it's
What do you notice that's different?
See, this is like cross.
That is with cross legs.
Yeah. This is
So the traditional position is he's on one leg, like kind of like this.
Yeah.
So that's the traditional position where he's on one foot, and that has its own symbolic meaning. But as I said, you'll see a wide variety of interpretations, and especially artistic interpretations when people make figures.
You should say he made this statue on his leg,
Oh my goodness.
on his family
I
leg.
see one leg up.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Is she carving it?
Or is that?
Within 3 days, she finished everything.
Amazing.
You have a picture of the finished version.
Wow.
Professor, the finished one, almost finished.
That's
not
great.
everything.
Oh, it's very beautiful.
For what I shared with you earlier, you can do a great research because
And it's going to affect
if
you.
the if the rest of the people, because if Buddhism applies only, it is only for the, it addresses only the philosophy, how about the rest of the people? I mean, when it comes to the rest of the people, they also should have something to worship. That's why I think in a later period of time, Buddhists, they practiced, offering some kind of foods to Buddha's temple. But the Buddha never ever encouraged.
No, you never say anything.
Yeah.
only the 3 items: incense, flowers. That's all.
Powders.
Yeah.
Powders.
Powders.
Would anybody like a ladu?
Yeah.
Ladu?
Yeah.
Let me take a photo.
When I was little, only if I come home A,
Sure.
only if I come home with an A, then can eat ladu.
And you can have
Terus biar
Ya.
kami kalau kadang ini ada ini kadang-kadang ini
Oh. So this will be like
This statue has some kind of feeling.
Oh, and the
Yeah.
rice steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, couple of them. Wonderful.
Is this lamp bandages or yours?
The lamp is Pañcopacāra.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the bell is mine.
The
The string is mine. And this stuff is mine. That's it. Everything else is. The cloth is mine as well.
This bandages or yours?
That's Pañcopacāra. The cloth, only the cloth is mine. And the clothes. All right.
No. Bante first. Which
Ayushman
is
Babu.
older than you or
I like some nuts, just nuts.
Just nuts?
This is the best
Thank you.
Yeah, sweet.
My family only if you get an A, then you can get ladu.
Only an A?
Yeah, you go to school and only if you get A, then you can eat ladu.
Oh, really?
My parents will buy. My grandparents will buy.
Would you like ladu?
Yeah, I want to try it first. Can I have half?
Or you
It's
can,
okay.
you can share with me. You can share with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
I never again.
Two, two, two,
You
two.
then you can share with me.
Okay, thank you.
I think maybe it's too sweet.
Yeah, it's probably.
This one is so delicious.
Oh,
Try it.
I will try with yeah.
Sure.
It's a little bit less sweet. Do you want another napkin?
I
That's
want
good.
to share.
Okay.
Would you like nuts as well?
A little bit.
Right.
Thank you.
It's good?
Yeah, it's good.
That's so different from already in the car while I'm driving after eating this.
Then
Nice class.
yeah, it's very good. Excellent. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Very beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. That was so much fun. I really appreciate that you encouraged
Yeah.
me and Pandit to work together.
Yeah, it's very good. Very good.
And treats. Everybody loves treats.
Yeah, ask him to, he can take home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he cannot eat now, but
Oh,
he
he
can
cannot
eat
eat.
later. He cannot eat now, but he can eat later. He can take home and
Tomorrow.
Give him some extra fruit.
Anthony, what's that fruit? Is it
This is a pear.
pear or
eat. He do very good, right? It's
Yeah.
like
Yes.
the voice, if you don't see, he say the sound like Indian person doing,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Yeah,
but
very
I
good.
want to know where are you
Yeah.
from?
He's good.
Thank you.
just like the
I
real
was
Brahmin?
thinking,
Yeah, like
Brahmin.
yeah. You get the accent. I say, oh.
I'll come to your place to have your blessing.
Wonderful. Thank you.
That's great.
That's wonderful. Would anybody else like fruit? I'm not sure how this pomegranate is doing, but this orange and the apple look wonderful. Would you like an apple or an orange?
I love an apple.
Wonderful. There you go. Here's my love.
Can I have the orange?
Sure.
That's our one way.
And I want a ladu. I will take one. And we'll just set the rest to the side in case anybody wants extra. Dr. Gabriel, do you know the procedure for the dupam and the deepam when you're done? Do you just leave it alone until it burns out?
Yeah, it is.
That's the way to go? Okay. I'm going to just leave that there.
The incense, If you want to make more beautiful, it's not necessary. You can trace all.
So sweet.
Oh.
You can use to trace all.
Okay.
Either you ring the bell, or you can, if you use one hand, you can hold like that. They're very beautiful.
I like that.
Yeah. Then this one, did he teach you how to wave?
Beautiful. He did not show me, but I've seen many people go back and
Yeah,
forth.
so you can do like this.
and around.
Right? Sit out like this. You can do like if you have bell, then you have bell. But if you have one, then you can go like that. Then you can sort of wiggle here, and then you can go down. Then you can come up, and then you wiggle, and come down, and you can come up, then go like that. They're very beautiful. Look very, very beautiful. Right? If you wiggle the lamp, it looks very beautiful. Yeah. We do far. Yeah, I can eat later.
It's for tomorrow.
Yeah, for tomorrow.
I have a container if you would like. Or this one.
Okay, you can share.
They sent me a container to use for to go if people want.
Thank you.
How are we doing on time? It's 4. Are we gonna break before?
No, now is the break.
Now is the break. Okay.
No.
Enjoy your breaking.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Of course, my pleasure.
Okay, yeah, it's okay.
This good? This container?
Yes.
I usually have a long neck. I'm gonna move. Should I move the table for your presentation?
I don't mind.
Here, you don't mind it there? Okay. I'm gonna sign out of this, so you can do that, and then I will clean everything up after. What?
Even now, as this month in Sri Lanka, once after this blessing is done, and once the food is blessed, in a place like this, the Buddhist monks, we eat this one with much reverence, much respect. Because this is all the blessed.
Yeah. In Tibet, they also pray to Ganapati to pass Buddhist exam.